So then guys, we're going to do a ground flare video. You've probably seen us talking about it on the group. This will be showing you how and why you use ground flares. Let's get into it. When you've got defences that are in straight lines like this, it's easy enough just to go building to building and so on, which is fine when all the defences are in a straight line. Now, when you're using ground flares, you need to know what tiles are. The tiles are these. Each one of these little squares is one tile. So when you're using ground flares, you want to pick a tile that you're going to throw your flare onto. So for this one, I'm going to do it between these two buildings on one of the tiles in between there. That means they'll run up between each of these buildings in a straight line. Use your flare to land your troops. Obviously, the better tightly you can get them, and you want to be in a straight line with them as you throw the flare. And they'll run straight up the middle. And as they get to the flare the HQ, and then they'll split. So yeah, it gives you a straighter line rather than running around lots of buildings and stuff. I'll show you another layout I've got loaded on my other account. So if I swear it'd be in the video, beast knob. So on this one, the HQ is up at the back there, and the front defences are here. Now, if you go building to building, where the building isn't in line with the HQ on the same line of tiles, this happens. I won't throw smoke so you can see it a bit more clearly. See how they're spreading around the buildings there? That's because when you flare a building with warriors, they'll split so that some run on one side of the HQ and some run on the line of the other side of the HQ. So, meaning you get two lines, or potentially three or even four, depending on how the defenses are spread out. If you use ground flares, even going from a building to start off with, you could flare land here if you wanted to, and then flare up top, but for the video I'm going to do it, start off on a building. So that when they've all gathered up, throw your next flare down tight to this edge, and they'll run nice and neat. If you was attacking this, as soon as they get to about here, flare the HQ so they don't stop and they bounce straight onto it. Now, warriors and zookas both path, run, walk in the same way. They'll walk initially to the line of tiles that you're on. So call that one building there and that one there. If you flare to this one to that one, they'll run in a straight line in between. If you flare from this one to that one, what will happen is they'll run over to about here first, and then to there. So they run over to the line of tiles that they're on. See how that one? See, they're on the same path, same line of tiles. So if we load up my other base quick, as I say, you can do this exactly the same. Zookas will do it exactly the same. Just show you quick before I change it. Obviously with zookas you've got to use your flare landing. To do this type of landing is all about timings of the drops, which I'll show you all in another video another day. So it's flared to there. You can see they'll tightly tack together and follow the same line as what the warriors did. So as I say, with warriors and zookas, they both follow the same paths as the other. Let's change this map quick. So on this one, I'm going to show you the difference between going from building to building and going from flares, or using ground flares instead, taking the same paths but showing you the difference between ground flares and building to building flares. Low warriors first. They're a bit quicker than. So first of all, we're gonna come onto this building. I'll show you the path from here to there. Again, I won't use smoke so you can see exactly the lines they're taking. See how those two down, they're firing off to the side like that? That's because they want to get to both sides of the HQ so they can surround it. They won't run in a line to in front of it and then spread around it unless you use a ground flare. As soon as you flare the building, they'll spread out wide enough that they can wrap around it. And we'll do the same again, but we'll use a ground flare. Stage up on the building first. This is what you'd do if it was a hot landing. Then you can flare to there, and they'll move over it and run a lot neater than they would if you flare the building. The idea is to keep your path as straight as possible from the beach to your target, keeping that path as thin as possible. And the way to do that, like I say, is using ground flares. When you use building to building, they'll automatically spread to, so some come this side and some go that side, and they'll do that all the way down. So that'd be like the wide width of the path. The idea you want to do is just scout the route that you think they're going to take, and pick a building that's as straight as possible with your flare target. So for this one, we'll try this one and just see how the path goes. Same flare spot. It's a lot neater than what it would be if using building to building flares. I'm going to try it now with a flare landing like you do with zookas. Quite often use this more than I would coming off of a building then using ground flares. Takes a bit of practice to get the drops right, the timings right. I'm going to come up this side this time. I'm going to go to there. And what you do is, as you be smoking these, you be smoking, then the last two smokes go together, and then when they reach the flare, you tap the HQ with a flare, and they'll run over like that. What I'll do is show you again what I mean about zookas wanting to run at specific angles. So back to this one again about using straight lines. If when you use zookas, if you say this line along the beach is 90 degrees and from the beach that way would be 90 degrees. So that's your 90-degree angle that is straight lines coming down the beach then up through the base. Zookas will also walk, and warriors will walk at 45 degrees until they hit the right angle line, as I was explaining a moment ago. Do it with zookas because they're a bit slower. So what we're going to do is we're going to aim to get them on the corner of one of these buildings here, but we're going to do it from here rather than in a straight line from there. So drop them here. Now, the biggest mistake people make is not choosing a straight line. So to go from there to there would be nice and simple. They'd split around, into two lines, maybe even one, and that would be that. They go all the way in a straight line. One of the biggest mistakes is people using funny angles that they don't naturally walk at. As I say, from that angle, they will naturally walk to find the line go from here that way. I'll show you what I mean. So if we put these here, as I said, normally the straight line would be now to go straight up somewhere near the HQ. But say for example, if you flared over here off the line, they tend to take sort of strange angles. You see how they're coming over this way to find the right angle line, then they'll change direction to straighten up to go towards the flare. That's the 45-degree angle they'll walk at. But using straight lines is always cleaner. And knowing where to place your flare to get them to walk single file is part of the art part of the art of zookas. It's all about using the right tile for the flare. I don't think I've missed anything. Maybe hit me up in the comments if you think I've skipped over anything. Yeah, so let me know what you think, guys. I hope this helps. Any questions, hit me up. Cheers.